All right. So are you ready to dive into this whole MrBeast thing?
Oh yeah, I've been seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, Beast Games. It's his new show on Prime Video.
Right. Yeah.
And people are going crazy for it. Some people are saying it's like the best thing ever, and others are saying it's just a total flop. So
huge split.
yeah, so we're going to break it all down and tell you if it's worth watching.
It's so interesting, right? Like this is MrBeast or Jimmy Donaldson, if you're, his mom.
Right.
Taking his whole YouTube empire to a whole new level. I mean, he's known for these crazy stunts and giveaways.
Right.
But now he's bringing that energy to TV with even bigger stakes.
Absolutely. And we are talking, 1,000 contestants challenges that are like straight out of Squid Game.
Yeah.
And a grand prize that includes like a private island and over $5 million.
It's insane.
It's wild. But like you said, the reactions are all over the place.
Yeah.
Send over a ton of reviews. Some are glowing. Some are just brutal.
Yeah.
So let's figure out what's going on.
Why are people so divided? What is driving all of this? That's our mission today. We're going to sift through all the hype, all the criticism, pull out those key takeaways so you can decide for yourself.
Exactly.
Is Beast Games worth my time?
Yes. Is it worth your time? And, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But I think even the people who hate this show can't deny it just looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like one review said, the production of the show is insane. Sets are great. The show looks awesome.
Yeah, visually it's impressive for sure. And I think you need that these days, right?
Yeah.
Especially with this generation. I mean, think about it. MrBeast's YouTube videos, those are known for looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
And this just takes it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah, it's definitely part of the experience. But the question is, does it cover up for maybe a lack of substance?
Ooh, that's a good question. And it kind of leads into the next big question, is it entertaining?
Right.
Because I am seeing a lot of debate about that.
Yeah.
Like some people are totally hooked. They love the suspense. They say it's like an emotional roller coaster, and they love like seeing how people act under pressure.
Yeah.
They're saying it's like a social experiment.
It's true. I saw that a lot too, that idea of a social experiment, like it's a live action psychology study.
Yeah.
Just watching these contestants get pushed to their absolute limit.
Yeah.
But for some people, that's just not enough, you know?
Right.
We saw comments like, it's too predictable, it's repetitive, it's a longer version of his YouTube stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of YouTube, people are saying the editing is weird, like too fast.
Uh-huh.
And it takes away from the games.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. One reviewer said, even though they thought the show was repetitive and like kind of ethically questionable, they could not stop watching.
Really?
They called it a dopamine hit.
A dopamine hit.
They kept them totally glued to the screen.
Wow, that's fascinating. The power of dopamine, right?
Yeah.
Our brains are wired for that instant gratification. MrBeast knows what he's doing. I mean, all the surprises, the drama, the big reveals, it just triggers those pleasure centers in our brains. And for some people, that's enough to overlook maybe some of the issues.
Like a lack of depth or ethical concerns.
Right, exactly. It really makes you think, about what we find entertaining and how that connects to this whole instant gratification world we live in.
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the games themselves.
Okay.
Because there's some criticism that they rely too much on luck or what other people decide instead of like actual skill.
Yeah, this is where things get a little complicated.
Yeah.
One review mentioned a contestant getting eliminated just because their teammate decided to take a bribe.
Oh, wow.
And there are other examples too, like they keep doing this self-sacrifice challenge.
Right.
Where one person's decision can literally eliminate the entire team.
Yes. And one reviewer called that heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
To watch someone's dreams get crushed because of someone else's, like, selfish choice.
Wow.
So is it even fair if so much comes down to chance or what other people decide?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of why this show is so controversial. Some viewers are saying that the unfairness is intentional.
What?
Yeah, like it's part of the social experiment.
Okay.
It's meant to test how people behave under pressure, and those random elements make it more interesting to watch.
So it's not about finding the best player.
No.
But more about, like, exploring human nature.
Exactly. Like holding up a mirror to society and asking, how would you act in this situation?
Wow.
And for some viewers, that's way more interesting than just a normal competition.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into the next thing. MrBeast himself.
Oh, boy.
His presence on screen is a big talking point.
Oh, yeah.
Some people love it, some people hate it.
It's like he's a Rorschach test for how people feel about influencers.
Yeah.
Like his fans, they love his energy, his over-the-top personality.
Yeah.
But others find him annoying, even manipulative.
Right. And he keeps reminding everyone about the stakes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the biggest prize in entertainment history.
Right.
And it just rubs people the wrong way. And they missed like his humor from his YouTube videos.
Right? It feels forced.
Yeah. So are we seeing like a difference between his online persona and how he is on TV?
Maybe, there's something about TV that makes things feel less real, less authentic.
Right.
And for someone like MrBeast, who's built his whole brand on being relatable,
Yeah.
that change can be a little jarring.
Like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly.
Okay. But before we get into all the controversies, I want to hear what you think about the Squid Game comparisons.
Ah, yes, the Squid Game comparisons.
Because it's everywhere.
We can't avoid them. I mean, clearly, Beast Games takes a lot from that show. The high stakes.
Totally.
You've got the colorful sets, the masked figures, the life or death challenges.
Yeah.
It's all very Squid Game.
And people are reacting in different ways.
Yeah.
Some people are into it. They think it's a fun, like, tribute.
Right.
But other people are calling it a cheap copy.
Yeah.
They're saying it doesn't have the depth or the social commentary that made Squid Game so powerful.
Like one reviewer called it a dreadful version of Squid Game with none of the substance.
Ouch.
It's a valid point, but it makes you wonder, does every show need to have some deep meaning to be good?
That's a really good question, and I think it depends what people want.
Yeah.
Some people want their entertainment to be thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be challenged.
Right.
But other people just want to have fun.
Yeah, escape.
Yeah, and maybe that's the key to understanding why people feel so differently about Beast Games.
Different expectations.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've talked about the look of the show, the entertainment factor, the Squid Game comparisons.
Uh-huh.
But there's one big thing we haven't talked about yet.
The elephant in the room.
The controversies.
Right.
Let's get into all of that after a quick break. All right, so we've talked about like the whole spectacle, the entertainment, the Squid Game comparisons.
Right.
But now it's time to get to like the big thing,
Yeah.
the controversies.
The controversies. Yeah, we can't ignore these.
No, you can't.
Several reviewers brought up some serious stuff like contestant mistreatment and unsafe working conditions on set.
Yeah, and these aren't just little complaints.
Right.
Like some reviewers were saying contestants were pushed too far physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
And even that, like medical attention was delayed sometimes.
That's pretty scary.
Is really alarming.
Yeah, when you think about these types of shows and how they could exploit people,
Right.
it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, and MrBeast has responded.
Right.
He says it's exaggerated, and he's promising to release behind-the-scenes footage to, like, clear things up.
Okay, so I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But there's another controversy that we can't ignore, and that's the whole money line thing.
Oh, yeah, the money line controversy. This has sparked a lot of debate,
Yeah.
especially about the ethics of influencer marketing. So for those who don't know Moneyline, it's this financial services company that offers loans and other financial products.
Right, and the problem is some reviewers are comparing Moneyline to those predatory payday loan schemes.
Yeah.
They're saying that promoting a company like that to MrBeast's audience.
Which is mostly young people.
Yeah, it's irresponsible and even exploitative.
Exactly. There's this fear that these young viewers who might not understand how these financial products really work
Right.
could be swayed by MrBeast and make bad decisions.
So it's not just about the show being entertaining.
Right.
It's about the effect it could have on people.
Exactly. The impact it could have on the audience.
Yeah, and it makes you think about the responsibility that influencers have.
Especially ones with huge young followings.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to something we talked about earlier.
Right.
Like Beast Games being this social experiment.
Yeah.
Like he's pushing the boundaries.
With the contestants and the viewer.
Yeah, making us think about these tough questions about entertainment ethics and influence.
Yeah, like a moral maze. It's smart whether he meant to do it or not.
Right.
He's creating this spectacle, this debate, and keeping everyone talking about him.
So even if you haven't watched the show, you're still part of the experiment.
In a way.
Because you're thinking about the ideas and the debates.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go back to the entertainment value for a sec.
Okay.
We talked about the dopamine hit,
Right.
but are the games themselves fun to watch?
That seems to be what divides people.
Yeah.
Some people think they're creative and exciting. They love the scale of it all.
Yeah.
But others think they're repetitive and predictable, and they don't have that spark of Squid Game.
And some people say some of the games are just mean.
Yeah.
Like they're designed to humiliate people, not test their skills.
Like that pie face challenge.
Yeah.
It's just trivia, and if you get it wrong, you get a pie in the face.
Right.
But some people thought it was demeaning and cruel.
Yeah.
Like it's just for cheap laughs.
And then there's that dunk tank challenge.
Yeah.
Where they dunk people in ice water.
If they fail a task.
Yeah, and that raised concerns about, like, their safety.
Right, physically and mentally, is it really safe to dunk people in freezing water like that?
Especially without preparing them or taking care of them afterwards.
It seems irresponsible to some people.
It's like he's trying to push boundaries.
Yeah.
But maybe he's going too far.
Crossing the line.
Yeah, and it's up to each person to decide where that line is.
You have to decide for yourself.
And I think that's where critical thinking is so important.
Absolutely.
We can't just watch this stuff without thinking about what it means.
Right, for the people involved and for us as viewers.
So we've got mixed reviews on the game's ethical concerns and a host who's really polarizing.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is, and we're not done yet.
Yeah.
There's one more thing we need to talk about.
Okay.
Like, what does Beast Games tell us about society as a whole?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
We've talked about the production, the games, the controversies, but, like, is there something bigger here?
I think so. Yeah, it feels like Beast Games is tapping into something deeper about our culture.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, think about the prizes. A private island, millions of dollars. It's like feeding this obsession we have with being rich and getting everything we want right now.
Yeah, it's like that get-rich-quick dream.
Exactly. It's the lottery, but like 1,000 times bigger and more extreme.
And it kind of plays into that whole thing we talked about before, like watching people fail.
Oh, yeah, that schadenfreude thing.
Yeah, people love watching others mess up, especially when there's a lot on the line.
It's weird. But we see it everywhere, especially in reality TV.
Yeah, all that drama, the betrayals, the humiliation. It's like people love it.
It's become entertainment.
And what about social media? It feels like this show is made for it.
Oh, totally. All those memes and clips and people arguing online.
Yeah.
It's like a viral marketing machine.
MrBeast knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. He's the master of social media.
So it's like the show is just one part of it.
Right.
You've got all the hype before the show.
Yeah.
Then everyone talking about it after the show and all that behind-the-scenes stuff.
It's like this constant stream of Beast Games content.
Yeah. Feeding the online beast.
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps people hooked and wanting more.
But let's go back to what you said before about this show maybe being designed to make us think about these things.
You mean the ethics and the societal values?
Yeah, like maybe it's all intentional.
It's possible, right?
Yeah.
Maybe under all that craziness and drama, MrBeast is trying to get us to think critically.
Like about our obsession with money or how much we tolerate exploitation or our addiction to getting things instantly.
Or maybe it's just a really good way to stir up controversy and get people talking.
Either way, it's working.
It's definitely working.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot, the good, the bad, the ugly, but is it worth watching?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you have to decide for yourself. We've given you the information, the different sides of the story.
Yeah.
Now you have to weigh it all against what you believe in and decide if you want to see it for yourself.
Maybe you watch it and think it's just a fun way to escape.
Right. Just turn off your brain and enjoy the show.
Yeah. Or maybe you'll see it as a warning sign.
A reflection of everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
But I think we can agree that Beast Games is a big deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's gotten people talking about important things.
And sometimes that's just as valuable as the entertainment itself.
So there you have it. Our deep dive into Beast Games.
We covered it all.
The hype, the criticism, the ethical stuff, the bigger questions about our society.
We hope this has helped you decide if you want to watch it or not.
Yeah. And even if you don't watch, we hope it's made you think about some things.
And given you a new perspective on this crazy world of entertainment.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.